Good morning. 2 Corinthians 12, verse 10, Paul says, "When I am weak, I am strong." And the church that I was on staff for a decade with, it's called the Metropolitan Bible Church, or the MET for short. And it was planted during the Depression, 1931. A group of people got together in Ottawa, which at that time, it was only 12 blocks from Parliament Hill, but at the time it was the edge of the city. And they planted by faith. They actually even had to make the church look like a movie theater in case it didn't go. They had the faith, the bank, not so much. Well, 85 years later, I'm 7 weeks into our new church plant. You can call me Isaac, you can call me whatever you want, but we're still covered in goop like a brand new baby. We are just so new, and I feel really I'm not an expert at anything right now. So I'll just share a little bit of our story. I share that verse about being weak because when the Met has always had a heart for mission, but mission was always something that was overseas. It was something that we prayed about. It was something that we gave a third of our budget for. It was something that we would send people far away and support people far away. But over time, we got very comfortable. And we moved in 2008 out of downtown to a big, brand spanking new building. And people came. But something started happening. The majority of our people became consumers rather than contributors. And as the young adult pastor, what I started seeing was people who were quite involved in ministry and reaching their friends for Christ and risking for Jesus would graduate from young adults and stop. At best, they would become consumers. At worst, they would become cynical. And that started creating this heart in me to see new life in this church. I had the privilege to go to South Sudan a few years ago, and there we went to a refugee camp. And I'll never forget this. There was little kids all around us, and half of them didn't have any clothes on, and they had distended stomachs. They were living in torn down tents. And they didn't know any English other than this. They would go, "How are you? I'm fine. How are you? I'm fine. How are you? I'm fine." Over and over and over and over again. And I just started bawling. I'm like, "You don't know what you're saying. You're not fine. You're not fine at all." And I came home to the Met, and I felt like that in our church. "How are you? I'm fine." Every Sunday morning, "How are you? I'm fine." And we were just going through it, and we didn't even really realize that we were one of those churches. Yeah, we're big, we're a mega church, but we were on decline. And we become extremely insular. Over the process of about 5 years, we tried to plant another church. And being a mega church, we thought we could just do it on our own. And we're even better than that, so we were going to do it in Quebec, across the river. We failed horribly. Then our lead pastor left. During that time, the Lord led me to say one morning an announcement in church. I just had to say it because people were starting to circle the wagons, weather the storm. We don't have a lead guy. The church is about one man, the God-man, Christ. And that led us on a journey to get involved with C2C. We needed help if we were going to do this and go into neighborhoods. And the Lord placed on Ruth and I's heart to put our hands up, and we stepped out of our role with young adults, not because we don't love them, but because we really do. And being an 85-year-old church, we've had to jump through a lot of hoops. They moved us to Montreal for a while for our apprenticeship. We had to do the assessment with C2C, which was the scariest and best thing at the same time. And then 7 weeks ago, we planted a church. And like a new baby gives new life to a family and gets the focus off of themselves and onto this new thing, that's what's happened and happening. It's only 7 weeks in our new church and in the church that planted us. People are giving, and people are praying, and people are inviting their friends. And it's not just young adults that have gone off to do this cool thing. No. We have 70-year-olds and 90-year-olds. And as we are reaching out in our own city, being missionaries in Ottawa, it's opening up this old church to this reality that the mission field is right at our front door. And so in the midst of losing two lead pastors, in the midst of a building program, in the midst of decline, in the midst of Justin Trudeau, God is showing himself strong in our weakness. And so to the glory of God, Christ is being lifted up in another new life, in a new community, in our city. And an older church is starting to experience new life as well. Thank you.